That's good. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I wanted to give some tips and advice for how to go about picking your university. More importantly, I just wanted to give some prompt questions that you might want to think about. What I would suggest is that you pick a pad and some paper. What I'd suggest is that you pick a pad and a pen because these tips might be useful in making your choices. So let's get started with the video. The first thing I would advise more than anything is to go to as many open days as you possibly can. Open days are a fantastic way to be able to look at the different universities, to compare them, see the types of environments you like, and even the types of surrounding areas that you like. Open days are also important because they help you to realize whether that university is somewhere where you see yourself walking around. There were a lot of areas that I liked and I thought they were good universities, but I just didn't feel natural in that place, and so I didn't pick it as a choice. Initially for me, I was quite reluctant to go to open days because I thought I didn't really need them. I thought most universities would be the same. But the one university that I was really interested in, and I was so convinced that it's the one I was going to go to, I ended up visiting it. And I was actually really disappointed with how it looked, the environment around it, the town around it, and basically the size of the university. I'm not saying that universities do false advertisement, but for sure the perspective that you get online is so different to the actual university. Open days are also a lot more interactive. You can ask students, lecturers, just general people working in the university questions. The second point that I would give is to consider your grades. I think this is an obvious one to all of us, but just for anybody who doesn't understand, universities usually make their offer based on your predicted grades. What I would suggest is pick universities that offer a range of grades. So for me, for example, I picked 2 or 3 universities that offered my predicted grades, and then with my other universities I went a grade down or 2 grades down just to be on the safe side. This is important because at least even if you don't make the grades for your firm choice, you make your insurance choice. With your insurance, you've probably seen the university and you'll know what it's like, unlike going into clearing in a university that you've probably never visited. The third thing I would suggest is that you look on league tables, but I don't want you to dwell too much on league tables because usually some universities are only in the top because of specific courses that are successful. But what I would suggest is that for your specific course that you look at the league tables and then you can see, do I want to go to a top university? Am I not as bothered? What are the job prospects? What's the student enjoyment? And that way it just kind of helps narrow down your choices on what you feel suits you best. League tables also help in choosing your university based on your grades. Usually, but not always, the further down the league table you go, the lower the grade offers. So you might start off with like A stars, AA, whatever, and then the further down it starts to get into points or maybe even other qualifications. Now onto the questions that you'll probably want to be asking yourself. These questions will help narrow down your choices and they are really vital in picking the right university for you. First thing I ask myself is, do I want a campus university or a city university? A campus university is kind of where all the buildings are in the same area, whereas a city university is like you can have the art department downtown and then the biology department is all the way like in the bushes in the forest. That is a slight exaggeration, but what I basically mean is that not everything is enclosed in the same area. So for me, I went and visited a city university and a campus university, and I realised that I didn't like a city university because I didn't like walking around and not knowing who's from the university and who's just somebody just walking around generally. And so I really liked the campus feel because I liked being able to see that these are all people from the same university as me. Second question I asked myself is, how far am I able to go or am I willing to go? So the reasons why you might want to stay closer to home is you want to visit home regularly, or it's cheaper to stay closer to home. But the reasons why you might want to go further away is because you just want that full independence. And then the third thing I would say to ask yourself is about expenses. So for example, I applied to one university in London, but I didn't apply for any more, and to be honest, I wasn't really planning on going to London because I thought it would be too expensive for me. So if your parents are able to support you in places where student loan or student finance might not be able to fill, then maybe London is an okay place for you. But if you are somebody who feels like, actually I haven't got the spare money on the side to be able to support myself, then maybe you need to consider going to cheaper areas. From what I understand, I think going further up north when you are in the UK, it gets cheaper, but I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on that. What I would also suggest, definitely look at the course content. Now, courses might be titled the same, but each university differs by the content that they offer. So for example, you might be considering doing biology, but one university might focus more on the ecology side, and the other university might focus a little bit more on the diseases and the human side of it. So look at the course breakdown and look at each module and see which modules interest you and which don't. And the last piece of advice that I'd give to you is to take your time. Now, from what I understand, UCAS applications for most of them have to be in before the end of January. University is something that you're going to be in for at least 3 years, so you need to make sure that the environment you're in nurtures your education and also your social life and everything like that. But as I wrap this video up, I do want to stress that open days and your grades are probably the most important decision makers for your universities. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has given you some tips and ideas on what to think about when you're picking your university, and I will see you in my next video. What's up guys? So today I thought I would do an A-level/AS level advice video. So for a lot of you, school is starting again towards the end of August, September,